and a guy came up to me going, "You're dressed as Raphael." I was like, yes I am. Are you a Ninja Turtle fan? Yeah, but you should be Venus from The Next Mutation. You shouldn't be Raphael, you're a girl. I was like, well, firstly, I don't actually like Venus. She could have been a good character, but her backstory was pants. So, I've actually read fan fiction that writes her backstory better than the people that wrote that show. I mean, seriously, right, this character's backstory, she's mutated with the turtles, floats down the road to Chinatown, is picked up, and then somehow, bear in mind this is mid-90s, smuggled to China, where she's brought up as a shinobi warrior. Yeah. I mean, she could have been created by Shredder, that would have been so cool, but no. But on the plus side, that show has the best puppets, apart from the first movie. But anyway, so yeah, I actually had to be rescued by a fellow cosplayer because this guy was getting up close and personal in my face because he took offence to the fact that I did a female Raphael. The other time, thankfully, wasn't to do with, wasn't actually an attendee. I was at a con last year and I was Jessica and I was on my way into the talent show to actually perform Jessica's song from the movie, which you guys know I love to sing.
Very well.
Yeah.
On my way there, about halfway there, some random guy in the street started going, "Oh, you look nice, can I have your number?" And I was like, "No mate." I kept walking. And the con is like a residential con, so you stay at the event, kind of like a festival without the tents, because we get to stay in a room with no mud, which is why I prefer conventions to festivals, because there's no mud. Get enough of that when I'm mucking my horses out, thank you. So he basically would not leave me alone and was like, "Tell me where you live, I'll drive down and visit you," and stuff like that. I got severely uncomfortable, and thankfully one of the crew members, I obviously know these guys very, very well. Hi, Pervy Scotsman. So he's allowed to perv because I've known him for 5 years, and I know he's harmless, but it's all in jest with him.
Mostly harmless.
And he wouldn't, yeah, mostly harmless, I'll give you that. So we have this interesting relationship, me and Dan, where I usually want to slap him. Yeah, you know that feeling well, don't you, Pippa? So one of the crew members had to rescue me. They left me, and I continued on towards the building that was hosting the the talent show. And another passerby, not part of the con, started harassing me. And I actually had to be rescued by another crew member within 5 minutes of it. In fact, not even that. In 5 minutes, in the space of 5 minutes, I literally got accosted by 2 members of the public just because I was dressed as Jessica Rabbit, and I haven't actually cosplayed her since.
Can we just stop a minute? Bones and Louise have to go to a panel upstairs.
Oh, say bye! We love you! So, as we've all shared our experiences, and Dan has just given us a lovely sound effect, do we want to go on to the next slide? Oh, it's like chat anyway, so perfectly timed. So do any of you guys have a question for any of us, all of us? Oh, we've got hands already.
Not a question.
Not a question. So if I start there and work my way back.
Right, I'm just going to sort of explain a few examples of me from my side, because I've had a bit of everything. Like your example with boobs, as you can see, I'm rather opposite the well and down. I was asked at school if I'd had breast implants. What?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. At school.
Yeah.
That's insane. I kind of like feel your pain. Like when you're cosplaying and you're like really, really young. Now, when I was 14 or 15, Fairy Tail had just come out as the anime, and I was cosplaying Lucy Heartfilia to the point, I think at one point in the Fairy Tail online group, they were like, "Oh my God, Lucy!" And I would have Natsus fighting over me. And when you're 16, that's great for your confidence. And then I decided that I was going to do the 7-year time art skip. Now, the first time I wore this costume, I was 17, and it was my first London con. And I'd gone to the convention, it was the Saturday, I changed into Lucy, I was feeling really confident, I was looking skinny, I had my boots on, you know, I was looking good. And then a girl who was older than me came up to me and ripped the sleeves off my costume.
What?
Why?
That's assault.
Like, and then walked off. So I shake that off, I go to the meet, it's good. Then the second year I go, and I then had a really traumatic breakup at the con, and I'm not going to go into detail about that because I don't particularly want to. And I then went to the meet, and then people were like looking at my chest and like, oh, you've got no boobs, so you shouldn't be cosplaying Lucy, you're too skinny. And at this moment when you're already feeling low, because you're like, oh yeah, I'm lonely again. That's the last thing you need. And now since then, now I have always been a really, my confidence goes up and down like crazy. And when you're cosplaying and you're like revealing yourself, and I think as girls, and especially even guys get this so much. The guys get more, I think guys get more shit than girls do, and I'm sorry for swearing, but as soon as like a guy doesn't have a six-pack in cosplay, it's like, oh, well, he's not good enough to cosplay.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like, for the guys in this room, screw them. Six-packs are not everything. I could staple some bread rolls to my stomach and I'll probably look good. And I think for girls, if you don't have boobs and if I don't have like an ass to boot like Negri, then I get the same issue. And unfortunately, I can't afford implants and I can't afford bust implants, so I'm never going to look like Negri. And it's something I feel passionate about, and it's something that makes my sort of like temper go like this.
Just one thing, girls, if you do have an issue with your boobs, there is such a thing as wonder bras. They do work and they work wonders.
Can I just point out that in here is like chicken fillets and stuff. I'm a size A. I'm sorry, but I'm an A.
And then the tip for girls who want to enhance their boobs with cosplay, 2 bras. 2 bras with wonders.
Can I just say I also have bra inserts into this to give me the April boobs, and I ain't exactly small, but I have actually given myself a little bit of help as well, because obviously it's April and she's got boobs.
We're all fake. Mine's a corset, but
Dude, we cosplay characters. They're fake as it is. Their imagination as it is. Why on earth can't we enhance it with ours a little bit?
Guys.
Yeah. Oh yes, we have. Okay.
Well, just.
Right, we're running out of time, so I'm gonna let you. Is that all right, Elsa? Yeah. We're gonna let you ask a very quick question, and then you ask a very quick question, and then we're gonna have to move on. I'm afraid.
Statement, okay.
And it's not exactly a question, but it's basically something similar what Elsa and I think it's Squeaky experience, so the whole thing with groping. And it happened 3 years ago, and I've never experienced like this because I never found myself appealing anyway.
Wait. I find you appealing. I fangirled over her. She was Castiel, and I literally spent the entire day fangirling over her.
But I remember
last week.
I love you too. And I remember I was cosplaying Prince Soma from Black Butler, and if anybody doesn't know who he is, he's basically an Indian prince, so I even had to tan my skin with makeup. So, and obviously he's wearing a sari. And I remember in a convention, and I was with my lovely friend right here, he's sitting in the front row. We were going into MCM, and it was extremely busy because they had a lot of problems with the tickets in 2013. And when I was walking into the convention, it was so crowded. And then for once in my life, I got hugely groped from my thigh to my ass. Excuse my language. And I said to
Cope with ass, I think.
And I said to myself, I'm not even cosplaying a woman or anything revealing, and yet I still got harassed. And I couldn't tell who it was because we were surrounded by people, and it took me a good year to get used to being in crowds again because I suffer anxiety. And if it weren't for my friends, I wouldn't able to get out, in conventions and crowds anymore. But if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be able to experience that.
You rock, Steph.
I love you too.
I literally follow her around so people can't go.
Good.
You stalker.
Yeah, I do.
Right, we've got 2 statements.
This is more of advice. Yeah, this is kind of more of advice. It's not cosplay or anime convention, but at work, bullying at work. I work with the NHS, and I've actually seen nurses bullying other nurses, radiographers and physios bullying, and they're people who take care of others they're supposed to be caring. Anyway, I've seen people who've done degrees for these, who've left their jobs purely because of bullying, because sometimes management didn't help out at all because they did go to management. There is actually on the DirectGov website some phone numbers and advice because it's borderline. Harassment is illegal, but for some reason bullying isn't illegal.
It's proving it.
Yes,
Because
that's
it's
it.
actually
Yeah.
a solicitor's firm.
Yeah, but on the DirectGov website there is help for in case anyone is being bullied at work.
There's also
So yeah, it can happen. Anyway.
for cosplay, there is Cosplay anti-bullying campaign. You can go to them. I believe. I know I'm an advocate for them, but I think you might be as well. Yeah. So we are advocates for them as well. So if you did want to express any sort of worry or anything like that, you can go to their page. You can also come to us, and they usually do tend to have a table at most cons, so you can approach there as well. Literally, yeah, representatives. Yeah, that's a better word than advocates because I use advocate for the mental health stuff, so I'm used to it.
Fair enough.
So
yeah.
one last statement, and then we're going to finish.
God, it's Amber. Who gave her the
I
microphone?
just want to say, as it says on the book, anyone can cosplay. Cosplay to me is genderless and shapeless. You can do whatever you want to do. Everyone has the confidence to what they do and ignore the hatred.
Love you, Amber.
Thank you. So that's the end of our panel. I'd like to thank everybody who has joined us today. I'd like to thank all of our guests and those who've spoken up. Oh, my mic keeps going in and out. And as I've said before, if you see any form of bullying going on, not even necessarily in our community, even outside, speak up about it, because bullies are generally just sad, pathetic little individuals who are either less secure than the person they're bullying. They're usually just doing it to make them feel